Luther's Small Catechism with Explanation, the Black and Maroon edition, copyright 2017, from Concordia Publishing House.
The ninth and 10th commandments. The ninth commandment, you shall not covet your neighbor's house. What does this mean? We should fear and love God so that we do not scheme to get our neighbor's inheritance or house, or get it in a way which only appears right, but help and be of service to him in keeping it. The ninth and 10th commandments. The 10th commandment, you shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or his manservant or maidservant, his ox or donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. What does this mean? We should fear and love God so that we do not entice or force away our neighbor's wife, workers, or animals, or turn them against him, but urge them to stay and do their duty. Intro of the ninth and 10th commandments. A central thought. God created us to be content with the gifts by which he sustains our life. What are some of the reasons that people are not content with what God has given them? Read 1 Kings 21, 1-16. How did Ahab acquire Naboth's vineyard? As Christians, we seek to live a life of contentment by giving thanks for the daily blessings that God provides for us and our neighbor. Name 10 things for which you are grateful, then offer a prayer of thanks to God. 1 Kings 21, 1-16. Now Naboth, the Jezreelite, had a vineyard in Jezreel, beside the palace of Ahab, king of Samaria. And after this, Ahab said to Naboth, "Give me your vineyard, that I may have it for a vegetable garden, because it is near my house, and I will give you a better vineyard for it, or if it seems good to you, I will give you its value in money." But Naboth said to Ahab, "The Lord forbid that I should give you the inheritance of my fathers." And Ahab went into his house vexed and sullen because of what Naboth the Jezreelite had said to him. For he had said, "I will not give you the inheritance of my fathers." And he lay down on his bed and turned away his face, and would eat no food. But Jezebel his wife came to him and said to him, "Why is your spirit so vexed that you eat no food?" And he said to her, "Because I spoke to Naboth the Jezreelite and said to him, 'Give me your vineyard for money, or else, if it please you, I will give you another vineyard for it.' And he answered, 'I will not give you my vineyard.' And Jezebel his wife said to him, 'Do you now govern Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let your heart be cheerful. I will give you the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite.' So she wrote letters in Ahab's name, and sealed them with his seal. And she sent the letters to the elders and the leaders who lived with Naboth in his city. And she wrote in the letters, 'Proclaim a fast, and set Naboth at the head of the people. And set 2 worthless men opposite him, and let them bring a charge against him, saying, "You have cursed God and the king." Then take him out and stone him to death.' And the men of his city, the elders and the leaders who lived in the city, did as Jezebel had sent word to them. As it was written in the letters that she had sent to them, they proclaimed a fast and set Naboth at the head of the people. And the 2 worthless men came in and sat opposite him. And the worthless men brought a charge against Naboth in the presence of the people, saying, "Naboth cursed God and the king." So they took him outside the city and stoned him to death with stones. Then they sent to Jezebel, saying, "Naboth has been stoned, he is dead." As soon as Jezebel heard that Naboth had been stoned and was dead, Jezebel said to Ahab, "Arise, take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, which he refused to give you for money, for Naboth is not alive, but dead." And as soon as Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, Ahab arose to go down to the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, to take possession of it. What does this mean? The 9th and 10th commandments are linked with each other with coveting. And this is the emotion, if you would, or the desire that leads to actionable sins of the other commandments. And so it's kind of the base root that people have of their desire, and then it leads to something else. It is a sin in itself because you want something that's not yours. And I find in this commandment that the key of it is that people want to have something that's not theirs, and then they justify doing wrong things to get the thing that's not theirs. And if you read in the lesson or listened to it in Ahab and Jezebel and with all the Naboth's vineyard and everything that went on, they did things that appeared right in people's minds, and a lot of things that weren't right. But there's a whole chain of events that happened, sins and commandments that were broken all the way through this just to get this vineyard, because he wanted it. He got an answer that said no, and instead of taking the answer that was no in a right manner, it was a good answer, you go, "Oh, I want it for myself." That's what Ahab said. "I want it, and I'm upset, and I should get it." That's coveting. And then that coveting led to other sins. And then to apply this to ourselves, this is important because so often we want things that are not supposed to be ours. God says this is somebody else's husband or wife, somebody else's authority, somebody else's position, somebody else's money, somebody else's object. And we go, well, I want it. I deserve it. And then we make a scheme to get it. And it appears right in people's minds. This oftentimes happens with legal things and litigation. And instead of doing what is just and right, instead of obeying God, instead of doing this, we say, no, we want what is ours and we deserve it because we're thinking about it. And then sometimes we rope other people into that mess as well. And so as we continue on and looking at the 9th and 10th commandments, some ways to combat this evil desire and sin, but then also to stop us from breaking other of the commandments because of this coveting desire. The Lord bless your day as well as your week.